Alrighty, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XVI. We're jumping right in. We just talked to the Undying boys. We're with Joshua. We're ready to see what's next. Get to Canver. And we've done all the side quests and everything, so we're ready to rock. Wait, there's more Undyings right here? I guess they're the same ones.
The free city is under siege.
What's... Okay, that just connects. Yeah, we'll see how much progress we can make today. We only have 2 days left. So, like I said yesterday, I don't think we're going to finish, which is fine. Give everyone a chance to finish while I'm gone, and hopefully we don't get too close to the end and then have to quit. But I don't think that's going to happen. I have a feeling we're going to have a lot more side questy stuff coming up. The further we go, the more side quests seem to open up, which is probably a good thing. They kind of stacked the back part of the game with side quests because you actually have all your stuff at that point, so it's more fun to do stuff because you have all these abilities and stuff to work with. So I kind of like that. If they put all the side quests in the beginning, you'd be doing them all with just your Phoenix abilities.
Fire and flame.
I think I've heard something about them trying ads that don't have sound, so you can still hear the stream. And they've had the picture-in-picture ones for a while. And look at their feet. Some gross feet. Those are orcs, alright. Streamer, show us the orc feet. Uneducated feet. I don't know, I expected them to have like boots, but they just kind of have, they're just kind of going barefoot. I don't know what I expected. Orcs don't have shoes. Justice for the orcs. Get them shoes.
Smoke. Is the city fallen?
We need to do a fundraiser so the orcs can get shoes. It's alright, they're just having a barbecue. They're grilling some meats.
The free men are still holding their own then.
Do we have any idea where Gav and the others might be?
There's a warehouse near the docks where we agreed to meet if there was any trouble. We should hurry.
That's just a 4th of July celebration. Oh my god, more side quests. Literally every time I do anything, side quests appear. Well, time for more side quests.
I'll be taking you all to a storehouse in the Bales. Leave anything you don't need behind.
I still love going back to these cities and seeing what's going on.
You know what you have to do. Clive, I fear that I must bid you farewell. As you know, our time grows short. The Lord Chief Justice's vultures are circling. We must strike now. Before we part, I want you to know that, though I may not always have been your most vocal ally, I trust you, as I trusted your predecessor.
Thank you. I appreciate the sentiment, and I understand more than anyone how you feel. But is revenge really the answer?
It is the one I found, and it is all that I have lived for since that day.
But what of Lostwing? Everything you've built.
I built Lostwing to achieve this aim. Once it is done, the village will have served its purpose. My comrades and I are sure of our cause, and we shall fight to the last, come what may. But there are those among us who cannot fight. Children, the elderly, bearers afflicted by the curse. I would place Lostwing in their hands, if I thought it would do them any good. But a village home only to the frail and the infirm is not likely to stay a safe haven for long. And so, Clive, I find myself turning to you once more. Will you take them to your hideaway, that they might live even should Lostwing die?
I will.
I mean, that's a lot of people.
I will not have it said that I did not see to the well-being of those who rallied to my cause. The people I speak of have withdrawn to Gotan's Bales, away from danger in case the Black Shields strike.
Understood. I'll make sure they get to the hideaway safely.
Then the last of my preparations are complete.
I love that he's going on a quest
Very
for
well,
revenge and talking about how he can
guide us.
fight, and he just looks
All
like
of us.
stereotypical blacksmith NPC. Honestly, kind of scary. The first time we talked to him and he was just talking about like slitting someone's throat, and I was like, bro. He just does not look the part, but it makes it even more creepy. Makes him even scarier.
Come then, brother. We are awaited in Gotan's Bales.
Yeah, well, we've been streaming this, you know, I do it 9 hours, or kind of more like 8 hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we've been playing it in the afternoon on Friday as well. Every single hour of the stream has been dedicated to this, with the exception of Fantathon. And I can only upload 2 episodes a day to YouTube, because any more, and it'd be impossible to keep up. It's already hard enough to keep up. But, you know, if I only uploaded 1 episode a day, it would go on for months. So I had to do 2 episodes a day. But even with 2 episodes a day, like, there's no way it's going to keep up with the stream, so... That's why it's, I mean, it's always got to be behind. That's just the way it goes. But it could be closer to the stream if I did 3 episodes a day, but that's too much, so...
Everyone, Quentin has asked that you come with me.
No, there's no
longer
limit.
guarantee your protection, but I can. There's a safe place I can take you to.
Well, if that's what the
But I've been doing 2 episodes a day every day, including the weekends, so...
None of us would be standing here today if it weren't for Master Quentin.
That
we
helps.
owe him our lives. So we ain't about to start telling him what he should do with his. If he's saying we ain't safe in Lostwing no more, it's 'cause he ain't coming back. And if that's what has to happen, then so be it. I only hope he can see this through to the end. That we get to see justice done.
I hope so too.
Oi!
Oi!
You lot! Where's everyone else? They ain't already left, have they?
They've gone with Master Quentin.
Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
What's wrong?
I've just come from the Justice's manor. We have to get Quentin to call off the attack. It ain't just the Black Shields protecting the place. He's got a guard dog and all. A fucking monster! They don't stand a chance against that thing. If I don't get the message to them, they're all gonna fucking die!
No. We can't let this happen. Sid! Don't worry about us. You've got to catch up with him. We can't let Quentin die before that bastard does.
All right. I'll do what I can. Where is this manor?
It's way over to the
We
east.
could have just done
through
this in the
woods.
first place.
Heaven all, he calls it.
Promise us, Sid. Promise us you'll do what you can.
Like, we could have just gone with him in the first place to make sure he doesn't die, and then these people wouldn't have to leave. Yeah, it's not really about, like, I can edit and render and upload 3 videos a day. It's just, like I said, that's too much for people to watch and be able to keep up. Even 2 a day is rough, but like I said, if I only did 1, we'd be done with 16 and YouTube would still only be halfway through, you know? Like, they'd be too far behind at that point. We'd be into September, they'd still be getting episodes. But I mean, right now I'm doing 2 episodes of this a day, every day, including the weekends, and I'm doing 13 every day, or 4 days a week.
Have care.
It's been quite the crazy month. Like, I basically stream 9 hours and then edit videos the rest of the day. Like, all night long. Because I have 13 going, I have this going, and then the cloud video I'm trying to get done before I leave. So I've just been working on it non-stop. It's been a lot of work, but it'll pay off. Yeah, I have to edit an insane amount of 16 videos so that, I mean, I have to have 2 up every day, so basically 14 videos all at once, and then I also have to have the 13 episodes up. So I'm probably gonna have to upload like 18 videos in advance for when I'm gone. Which I'm probably gonna try to do on Thursday, but I also have to... Thursday is my day to finish or not finish the cloud video.
Clive, look.
No. Don't tell me we're too late.
It'll be fine.
Quentin,
Did,
are you all right?
did you kill everyone?
No. But I am alive.
Did you bring like a weapon to this fight, or just
Which is more than I can say for my comrades.
fight them with your mind?
They followed me without question all the way here. And they died. For nothing.
Found the doggo.
This must be the guard dog. Quentin. I'll hold it off. You go.
But
Your comrades didn't die for nothing. They died for you. Don't let their sacrifice be in vain.
I won't.
Looks more like a cat.
Come on, then.
That is no mere guard dog.
No, just a rabid beast that needs to be put down.
And Gouge is so good. And I thought about getting rid of it. Punch.
If only we'd arrived earlier. Is it over?
It is. He wept and begged for mercy. And I cut him from ear to ear.
Bro, I can't get over this guy.
Just
He's
as I dreamed of doing all these years. All my plans. Building a haven in Lostwing. Freeing bearers from their chains and recruiting them to my cause. It was all for this. But what is this? Justice? My faithful comrades. All those lives lost. So that I might take another.
Quentin.
Master Quinton! Oh, thank Grieger you're safe.
You're alive.
And so are you. I'm so sorry. I tried to warn you about that thing. And I hate to say it, but there's more bad news. It's Lostwing. It's been flooded.
What?
what? Oh, good thing everyone left.
Lostwing. My Lostwing.
And look who's here.
You were literally going to abandon
They
it
must have
like 5
stolen
seconds
in after
ago.
we left just before the flood struck. What if there are still people in there?
Don't be a fool.
He's dead.
Damn it.
Dude, I'm telling you, on the tier list of like bad arses, the bad arse tier list, I'm thinking like Cloud, Sephiroth, Kratos, A tier, Quentin, S tier. Like double S tier, quadruple S tier. He is the scariest dude. Just the way that he's like no weapon, just walks in there, comes back out covered in blood, zero emotion on his face. Just, yeah, I tore him from ear to ear. I cut him open. He begged for mercy, and I killed him in cold blood. Zero emotion. Just straight terrifying. What in the world? What bothers me, like, I know it's a side quest, but they've been building this up since the very beginning of the game. Since we ever met, well, not really the very beginning, but about the middle of the game, we met Quentin, and we've been building up this moment where he goes and gets revenge on the guy that wronged him. Is it really that hard to, like, animate a sword into his hand and actually show him killing the guy. Like, instead, he just walks in and comes out covered in blood. We don't get to see any of it. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a side quest and they don't want to spend too much time on it, but we've been hyping this since the middle of the game. This has been like 4 or 5 different side quests we've done. Like, we could make it, we could give it a bit more of a finale, you know, instead of just don't even change his clothes, don't even show us the guy. We didn't even get to see the guy. Like, he just walks in and comes back out, you know. I mean, at least with the Charon cutscene, we got to see the guy. We didn't see him get killed, or we didn't see him get his eye taken out, or really anything. It just faded to black, but at least we got to see him and talk to him and stuff. Here it was just like a bunch of dead bodies. We fought a cat and then it was over, you know.
It's not going to last long in there.
Would it really have been that much work to like quickly put together a little scene since we've been building up to this for so long? Doesn't have to be crazy given that it's just a side quest, but just seems a bit odd. Again, many of the things in this game I point to just being kind of half-baked, and that's yet another one that feels like they just didn't have the time or resources to finish what they started. Unfortunately. He accused her of stealing stuff from him a long time ago, and she said she didn't do it, but he still thought she did it, so he took her eyeball out of her head, and that's why she only has one eye. And then because of that, she actually did steal a bunch of stuff from him, and then didn't see him for a really long time, and then he started spreading rumors to bring her out of hiding so he could kill her. And instead, she stole his eyeball. The end. Yo, thanks for stopping by, Quicksilver. Appreciate you, man.
Quentin! Hold on. I'm gonna get you out of here.
I feel like Gouge is really good for arcade points because I just got a times 60 because I was hitting 2 people with it. Also, thank you very much for the primer, Quicksilver. Appreciate you, man.
I need to get back to Quentin.
So this is really interesting. Like, Lost Wing has been an area for side quests this entire game, and now it's gone. This makes me curious as to whether or not you can miss side quests, because there were side quests here, and obviously they would be gone now. So I have a feeling that side quests are missable.
Quentin! Quentin! Look at me! Thank the Founder. He hasn't turned. I'm going to get you out of here.
It could be, but this also matches like what's going on in the world, so they'd have to like the towns would have to exist in like a time bubble where like nothing else is going on until you do the side quests, which I kind of doubt, because I think part of the storytelling is how the cities change throughout the story. So Yeah, honestly, I think the side quests are just straight up missable. I'm going to be doing way more than just getting the platinum. I plan on kind of doing some high level stuff with this game, depending on how much I enjoy it after doing everything. But
Welcome back to
we're going to
the
look
land of
into
the
some high level stuff,
Is Lostwing?
at least just to try it
living.
out.
Has filled the valley.
I see. Then all is at an end. A strange way to achieve one's life's ambition.
No, Master Quentin. Save your strength.
Why?
Why?
All that I strove for is gone. Only emptiness remains. I have nothing left to live for.
What the heck are you on about? You've got us, ain't you? Don't try telling me you only freed us so you could get revenge. We're more than that to you, and we all know it.
I thought you weren't coming back. But I prayed, and you did. There's got to be a reason for that, right? Can't we just go back to how it was? You know, you looking after us all.
Your work ain't over yet, Master Quentin. We believed that you were the right man to lead us, and we still do.
Your village may be lost, but it seems your people aren't, so long as you remain to guide them.
But why? After what why would anyone follow me?
'Cause we're family, aren't we?
Family?
Yeah, and all our comrades who went with you, they felt the same. Lostwing weren't just a village. It was all of us.
It was. And as long as we're still here, it is too.
We can start again. Build a new Lost Wing, right here in the Bales.
A fresh start. One life ends, and another begins. Why just a village? We could build towns. A nation, even. What's to stop us?
That's the Master Quentin we know.
Please. I am nobody's master. Quentin will suffice. After all, we are family. Permit me to withdraw my request. I will no longer be needing your help in looking after my people.
I'll pretend you never asked.
I'm glad you finally
You
cleaned the
must be
blood
rewarded
off of
for
you.
your efforts on our behalf. You saved my life twice over. And more besides.
A bottle or two of your finest red will suffice.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Nothing but the best. And I have a feeling that this year's vintage will be the finest yet. If you don't mind waiting, that is.
I look forward to it.
Hanged Man signboard. It's kind of cool how when you finish kind of a side quest tree, you usually end up getting a curiosity. Random wicked wheel accessory. I liked that side quest, but it was a bit strange. Like, I like where it went, but at the same way, Quentin's reaction was a bit strange. He like raised that whole village so that he could get revenge on that guy. And then he got revenge on the guy. And then he was just like, I have nothing to live for. Like when we went back to the village, he was like, my lost wing, I can't believe my lost wing is gone. But he had already given up the Lost Wing. Like, he said, take my people and run. I'm going to go get revenge and probably die in the process. But then when he doesn't die in the process, he's like, oh, my Lost Wing, it's gone. And then 2 seconds later, he's like, I have nothing to live for because all I cared about was that revenge. So, like, does he care about Lost Wing or not? Like, you know what I mean? It was just kind of weird. His motivations were strange. He comes off more as like a sociopath that didn't actually care about anyone. But he does care about them, and that's why, like, the ending was nice, but it's just weird because it didn't really come off that way. I like where it went, though. Like, it was fine. The conversation with the kid was cute, but Quentin is just an absolute maniac. I don't know. Like, I don't even know if we really should have helped him. He's a psychotic. Like, what in the world? Terrifying person. Okay. Let's go do this next, but first, let me go grab more coffee. Okay. That's video game service. Come to your house and play video games. Martha,
Clive.
Martha.
Just the man I was hoping to see.
Oh? And why is that?
You remember how some of Sir Wade's guardians took up residence here after the Akashic attacked? Well, now the rest have come to join him. Seems their barracks in the Lazarus have been lost to an ether flood. Now, I don't mind having a few more brave boys around to keep them animals at bay. I ain't daft after all. But we ain't got nowhere for 'em to bed down. Poor buggers are having to make do with haylofts and chocobo pens. I'd build 'em a new barracks here if I could. But where would I put 'em? There just isn't enough room up here on the rock. Which leaves us in a bit of a pickle. The people we're counting on to keep us safe are living like beggars.
I see.
And it isn't just that lot. There's bears to think about too. There's been more and more of them turning up lately, coming from all over looking for safe haven. But there's only so many we can shelter with the room we've got. We can't keep cramming more and more people into less and less space. What we need is a new home for our new arrivals. And that's what I was hoping you might help me with. If it ain't too much of a burden, of course.
It's no burden.
Thank you, Clive.
So, where were you thinking of making this new home?
Well, I reckon we could do a lot worse than Eastpool.
Eastpool. It's been a long time since I thought about that place.
It was a tragedy, what happened. And if any of us could have done anything to stop it, we would have. But what's done is done. And those who lived there wouldn't have wanted the village they loved to be left in ruins.
I suppose you're right.
The blight might be pressing in, but I reckon it's got a good few years left in it yet. There's just one problem. A band of cutthroats have made it their den, and they don't seem like they'll be moving on in a hurry. Nasty bastards they are too. I've lost some good men to their raids. Would have sent someone to clear 'em out sooner if my boys didn't already have their hands full fending off the Akashic. But now we've got a few more guardians of the flame to call on. I reckon it's time we made our move. What do you say? Fancy leading a raiding party?
I do.
Yeah, raid party.
This pool was once home to people I loved. I won't have bandits sully those memories. I'll gladly drive them out of there.
And I know the men will gladly follow you. I've already shared a few thoughts with Sir Wade about how we might be able to win the place back. And I dare say he's got some ideas of his own too. Why don't you go and talk to him?
Of course.
Square Enix were like sitting in their office. Alright, what should we do for a side quest? Well, people really like Final Fantasy XIV. What do they do in that game?
Eastpool, then.
Not just yet.
Raid.
Let's hear Wade's plan first.
I got an idea. Let's have a raid party.
So Wade, it's good to see you well.
And you, Lord Rosfield. And you.
I spoke with Martha. She tells me you have plans to free Eastpool.
You want to join my raid?
That's right.
We need a barbarian.
Though it was mostly her idea. I rather fear my men have been treading on her toes somewhat since joining us, not to mention each other's. And then there are the bearers.
You want to join my shadow
Found the
legend?
courage to flee their masters and sought refuge here. We need somewhere to settle them, and I can think of worse places than Eastpool.
As can I.
I like how they both said worst
Which
place.
is why I agreed
Than
to help you
Eastpool.
win it back.
That's very
How's it going,
kind of
Apple?
you. I'd be most grateful if you would. With you beside us, we shall soon send that rabble of rogues running for the hills.
So, what can you tell me?
That thankfully there aren't too many of them. Fewer than a dozen at our last count. And rather less, thankfully, the road that leads there will more than likely still be crawling with Akashic. A small force would suffice to clear the village, but if the Akashic were to follow them in, that force could end up trapped between a rock and a very hard place indeed.
I'll head into Eastpool and deal with the bandits. You and the Guardians can stay outside the village and fend off any Akashic who come too close. Make sure I'm not taken unawares.
I can't ask you to bear all that risk yourself, my lord.
The Akashic are the bigger risk.
I was gonna say, I feel like you have the harder task.
Well, if you're sure, I shall summon my men at
I'm
once.
doing the easy part.
Shall I wait for you here?
No need, my lord. You go on ahead. We'll be with you before long.
All right. I'll meet you at Eastpool then.
Not much of a raid.
Shall see you
Going
there.
by myself.
And may victory await our coming.
Yeah, good to see you, Apple. It is pretty good. I'm enjoying it a lot. It has its flaws, but it is a very fun, enjoyable game. Definitely the first playthrough has been very fun. I tricked you all. I had a fast travel right in your house.
Who the hell are you?
Who the hell are you?
You will leave this place.
I don't think I will. Actually.
Or face the consequences.
What the? What did we just do?
That's the end of that then. Or maybe not.
What the? 2 scoops!
Doing here. Doesn't matter.
I'll have 2 scoops. This is not what we were expecting. Probably could have killed him if my thing was up, but just barely didn't come up. That did so much dagger damage.
Another down.
So how'd the bandits go? Well,
Any more surprises?
the bandits were alright, but then we went out for some ice cream.
Better to know.
Bravo.
2 scoops.
A magnificent display, my lord.
You were watching. I thought you were keeping an eye out for Akashic.
We were. Put down more than a few on the road, then arrived just in time to see you slay that... whatever it was.
Let's hope it was the last of its kind. Though I expect you and the Guardians will be up to the challenge should another appear.
I would hope so, my lord.
Your men will be bringing the bearers who'll be living here, I assume. It might be best to send word for them to come right away, before any other unsavory characters move in.
Of course. I'll send orders for them to depart immediately. Leave it with me, my lord.
So, my guess as to why the bestiary seemed so small is that a lot of these enemies are just the same enemies, but stronger, and they just get new names. But I don't think all of those names show up in the bestiary.
Without masters. No. We're the masters now. Our lives are our own at last.
That's all of them. And not a single Akashek in sight. Now to begin the important work of rebuilding the place. It won't be easy. Especially not after 5 years of beasts and blackguards having their way with the place. The masonry might still be sturdy enough.
They get like an extra attack or two.
Those that weren't lost
but I don't think those extra versions show up in the bestiary.
But we'll see Eastpool rise again. Just you wait.
So wait. Lady Hannah is buried here. If you don't mind, I'd like Oscar to join the rebuilding efforts. He should be a part of this.
Of course. I couldn't agree more.
Ah, already getting use out of Oscar.
Everyone arrived safely. If you need anything more, you have only to send a Stolas.
And we will, my lord. Safe travels.
Let's go tell Martha the good news.
Yo, Vantis, thank you so much for the gifted sub. So Joel, welcome back, Joel. I really liked that visual. They're not doing it anymore, but I liked that visual of the villagers just like looking at the sky and looking at the village and just being like a home, you know. I think that was pretty cool. Back to Martha. Oh, thanks, Vantis. I appreciate you stopping by, man. We're doing side quests right now, so shouldn't be too much of crazy spoilers, but we are pretty far in the game, so. But yeah. Streams have been well. I've been going crazy with this and 13 and getting the new in-depth video done, so I've been kind of going crazy, but it's been really nice. It's been awesome. All the support has been incredible, and everyone coming together to experience 16 together, it's been really a blessing. Seen a lot of new faces and a lot of old faces, and it's been really an awesome couple of weeks. Just talking Final Fantasy VII, talking Final Fantasy in general, talking about the series and where it's going and where it's been, and we've had a lot of really cool discussions about this game and its mechanics and the series as a whole. It's been really awesome. Yeah, I think playing 13 while playing this game is such a interesting happenstance, because it's pretty interesting to see the comparison between those two games in particular. 13 being the one that everyone thought was like the end of Final Fantasy, and now it's modern and stuff, and then this game kind of pushing it to its limit, you know. It's interesting. I think if we could, like, I don't know if you guys agree, but I think if we were to go back in time and show people Final Fantasy XVI back when Final Fantasy 13 came out, there would have been less of an outrage over 13. You know what I mean? Like, you guys thought 13 was, you know, different. Look at what's coming, you know? Or even 15, or even 14, you know? Well, no, I'm just talking about gameplay-wise, because that was the big outrage with 13, was they've gone too far. It's not Final Fantasy anymore. 13 has its own problems, but also its own positives. But the big, like, outrage was the whole where is Final Fantasy going argument. But if we could show them this, it'd be like, wow, that's, 13 fits pretty well into the series when you look at something like this and how different this is. Well, we were talking about that yesterday and how really the series hasn't been turn-based since Final Fantasy III. But I don't know. It's all. I'm not even sure. Other than 10, always gotta throw in the asterisk with Final Fantasy X. But I don't know. It's all in everyone's head, Your definition of Final Fantasy is your own in your head, which is why this whole argument of like Square Enix has lost the plot and Final Fantasy isn't Final Fantasy anymore. Everyone's opinion of what makes Final Fantasy is so different that I just think everyone should have their own opinion, but respect everyone else's as well when it comes to what Final Fantasy is. And I didn't always used to think that way, to be honest. I was definitely when Final Fantasy XI came out, I was genuinely upset, like, how could they do this? This isn't Final Fantasy. This isn't what you've created over the last decade. This is like you slapping Final Fantasy on a case and saying, buy it. But so many people had trust in Square Enix and jumped into Final Fantasy XI with open arms and enjoyed it. And when 12 came out, I gave them another chance, and 12 ended up being one of my favorite games on the PS2. And when 13 came out, there was that whole outrage over Hallway Simulator, and I bought it and enjoyed it. So my view on the whole thing changed a lot, and I realized, like, Final Fantasy means different things to everyone. And it means different things to Square Enix, too. For Square Enix, Final Fantasy is a series that reflects their current place in the industry. It's not a turn-based RPG. It's not a turn-based adjacent RPG. It's not a JRPG. It's not any of those things. It's the game that defines their company and their current ability to create experiences. That's what Final Fantasy is to them. It's their way of pushing the envelope and creating a new experience that they think is the best they can possibly make at this moment. That's what Final Fantasy is to them. It's not... They don't place Final Fantasy in this envelope of, like, it has to be these certain things. It's always been their game to experiment with and try new things and, like you said, push the envelope and really push themselves to make the best possible product they can. That's what Final Fantasy is to them. So, if you think that Final Fantasy should be stuck in this envelope of it has to play this way and look this way and etc., then that's your own opinion and that's your own way of experiencing the series, and that's valid. But, like I said before, there's a difference between... What is that white? Do you see that? There was like a white blotch on the screen that appeared in dispute. You see that? It's over by those barrels. It's like the screen screwing up. Anyways, there's a difference between having your own opinion and being actively hateful. You know, saying that, you know what, Final Fantasy XVI isn't the Final Fantasy for me, that's valid. Oh, I see what it is. It's the diamonds trying to form. Huh, that's interesting. But being hateful and spiteful and all that, that ain't it. Now, having said that, I do have a couple issues with, you know, what I said before. With Final Fantasy is always the game that Square Enix puts everything into. They put their whole budget into it. They try to make it the best they can possibly make it. And I feel like they didn't do that with this in a lot of ways. There's a lot of half-baked things. There's a lot of things I can point to and say, you know what, this isn't up to standard of your current what the current Final Fantasy should be, you know. The drops in frames and the performance not being great and a lot of the side quests feeling like they could have been more and a lot of the mechanics feeling like they could have been more and the RPG elements being completely void. That's something I can look at and be like, you know what, they kind of dropped the ball on this. And it's a Final Fantasy, it should be complete. At least it is a complete game and it's a very long game and it's worth the money for sure, but those missing elements do stand out because that's not typical of a Final Fantasy game. You know, look at any other mainline Final Fantasy game and everything is so incredibly fleshed out. I can't even think of a game in the main series where I'm like, wow, they really dropped the ball, like they didn't finish this, you know? If nothing else, everything is finished. Right? I mean, just look at how expansive stuff like 12 is, 10, 12, 7, 8, 9, 6. So expansive, so finished, so polished, you know. I think 15, yeah, I mean, but my issues with 15 are more of a core issue and less of a they didn't finish the game issue, you know. The DLC is really where it gets into like, wow, you guys just kind of dropped the ball, but the main game, when it came out, it was finished, it was polished, the game ran well, the game had everything it was supposed to have. My real issues with 15s come from the actual core game itself, not this feeling of it being incomplete. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you thought 15 was incomplete. For me, I don't remember it feeling that way. I could be wrong. When we play it again, I'll see. But I don't remember having a feeling of like, oh, they rushed this. You know? It was more of a feeling of, this is just not good. You know, like I felt like it was finished, but it wasn't good. That's just but I don't know. Well, when we play it again, I only played through it once, so. The story, yeah, that's true. I don't know, man. Was the story half-baked, or was the story just so misguided? Like, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. I mean, the fact that a lot of the story was like in codex and stuff, like little things you had to read, that's kind of an indicator that maybe it wasn't complete. So yeah, I do agree with that, for sure. But my personal issues with it span more from the core gameplay, the core thought process behind the story, the core ideas of let's turn Sid into sex appeal, let's turn the airship into a car, let's turn the world into a giant vast nothing, let's turn the party into just 4 guys that know each other. Like, just so many of the core ideas of 15 I just disagreed with. You know? And that made it hard for me to enjoy any of the things that the game actually did well. Did they not make Sid into sex appeal in this game too? You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Ah, there you are. All went well then. Sir Wade told me you got rid of the bandits while his lot kept an eye out. Nicely done. And what's all this about some shape-shifting nightmare showing up? On second thoughts, don't tell me. It'll only give me nightmares of me own. What matters is you did it, and now we can build our new village.
I suppose it will be. What will you call it?
Sidville.
What else?
Marth.
Eastpool.
Oh, that's lame.
Sir Wade said it best. There's plenty bad happened to that place, but that don't undo the good that happened there. No need to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Did Wade say that?
Well, something along those lines. Anyway, the poor souls might have made it to Eastpool, but their work ain't done yet. So the way I see it, neither
Martha.
if it's food or lumber or strong bags
Warthaheim.
needed, the rest is ready to provide it.
Thank you, Martha.
No, thank you. You didn't have to help us.
I wanted to.
Marthaville. Alright. Well, that was a quick side quest. One more to go.